Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny De Lillo and we're here in the Cambridge, Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood. And I'm here with Jeffrey DeChausse with his movie, American Auto. Let's take a look at the clip.
Having a car lot in Detroit's kind of like having a basketball team in LA. It's got so much tradition that goes with it, I suppose. I just see so much shit just being ran corruptly and wrong, and just everywhere I look, every time I turn my head, I'm like, man, I could do a better job at that. People who need a $1,000 car need a $1,500 car, not people who want a $1,000 car or want a $1,500 car. That's who comes here.
Can you believe I got this car for $600 out the door, baby? That's a good thing, isn't it?
Jeffrey, it's awesome to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
My documentary is really a cinema verite style documentary about a used car salesman in Detroit who really tries to make a living by being honest and treating people well. And it's been a story I followed for the past, I don't know, 6-7 years really.
I love your documentary, and I just felt like I just was so enthralled with just the life and the characters. I couldn't believe the people that you had in there, because what seemed very, it's a very touchy subject and something that's been going, Detroit has gone through several different changes, but you found there was definitely some humor in there as well, which I loved.
Well, yeah, I think Detroit, which I'm very excited about and I feel lucky for, and is going through some positive changes. But I think when I started this film, nobody cared about Detroit. Detroit seemed to come into the topic after it fell to the very bottom because the buildings were all falling apart, and it was like the death of a city. But I think for me, coming from the city and loving the city so much, I started this project because I wanted to find something positive in the city. And before all the people came in and bought up all the big buildings and all that kind of stuff, it was rough. And I wanted to go back and tell a story, and I found Tom, and when I got there, I just didn't know why I should be there, but I just said, I'm going to be hanging out with you guys, and I'm going to start figuring out how to be a filmmaker, and we kind of just decided to go with it, and it was a really interesting journey, and at times I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have control of the film, and I think that's kind of something that happens when you're a younger filmmaker, and I've learned that you can control a film.
Yeah.
A documentary, you can't control it all the time. You have to be able to adjust and follow it, but you can guide it. And I think, doing a documentary, there's so many different stories happening at once. And I think sometimes, I went in anticipating one story, and I found another. And I thought that was a beautiful thing.
It's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, aside what really made the documentary as well was the great choice of the soundtrack that you made. How did that come about for you?
It was a long process. We started the movie, my editor and I, and we just had a big bin of music from Detroit. We had Janis Joplin in there. We had all these things like Mercedes-Benz. He was singing it, and we had to transition into it, and we got it into to places, and we just realized getting music is really hard. It's probably there's so many layers of bureaucracy and approvals. So we went to somebody offered me up a library, and I had like 10,000 songs, and I would just start going through it, and I stumbled upon this little folder of beautiful gospel quartet from like the 30s, I think it is.
Wow.
I didn't even give me the guys who sang it. It just kind of had the song. It was in the APM library.
Wow.
And it kind of just worked, because I think at a point, my editor Zeke and I, we were working on the film. Tom's a spiritual guy. He has a cross on his neck. He says to pray for his customers every day. He has a Bible on his desk, and it was there, but we didn't see it. We just thought, that's just Tom. And then when you kind of put the music together and you see who he is and how he treats people, it kind of really wrapped it all in, and it also gave the hope and the spirituality that I think Detroit is rising upon now. As a matter of fact,
it was a great essence of the documentary, which I just loved.
Yeah, it is like the fourth element, and you don't think about it. And I often write to music, and but I just found that this was just a really cool discovery, and I felt really lucky.
Now, it's not your first rodeo for New Filmmakers, so how is it to be selected again for New Filmmakers Los Angeles?
I love it, and I always appreciate your guys' support, you and Susie and the team. I just think it's a great venue. Last night you hear other people's journeys making their films. As artists, a lot of times we're spending our time in our little rooms working and writing and coming up with ideas. Then you're suddenly in a big circus, and then the rug's yanked out beneath you, and you're back in your little room.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to go out and hear the journeys of other filmmakers, and gather, their information, the knowledge that they have, and then also again to have, downtown Los Angeles and the venue is amazing, and to be in the heart of, such a creative city, in particular downtown, and to be able to invite people to come out to see it at such a beautiful venue and have the great audio and all that. It means a lot as a filmmaker to have it shown there. So it was great.
It was great. We had a great reaction last night from our audience, which was wonderful. Now you're very busy. So what is coming next for you?
It's you're always trying to figure out. I have all these projects going on at once. So, but the two that are lining in next, and one is my a short film, which I'm going to do here in California. It's a short dramatic narrative, and then I have a feature film that I'm going to be shooting in Detroit. It's called Motorheads, and it's very John Hughes-like, very American Graffiti, and I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to focus on the feature, and I feel like the shorts and all the experience, it just kind of adds up to my 20,000 hours.
Yeah, I love it. Now, if anyone was trying to follow in your footsteps, Jeffrey, what piece of advice could you offer a filmmaker?
I have one saying. It's not my saying. It's Ray Bradbury. I saw Ray Bradbury speak.
Oh, Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, right. And he said it was great. I was like, okay, I got it. He said, don't build your wings and jump off the building. He said, jump off the building and build your wings.
Well, there you go.
Right? I was like, whoa, I got it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, no, you just got to go for it.
Yeah.
Just kind of be persistent and diligent and surround yourself by good people, smarter than you.
Yeah, that's another good piece of advice.
Yeah.
Listen, congratulations again on your film. I love your work. We love your work.
Thank you.
And we're excited to continue on the journey of more films. So thank you very much.
Yeah, the next one will be very different.
Yeah, that's what you expect from Jeffrey. You never know.